Hello everyone, shadedmazoku here, continuing the Let's Play. Today we are going to go kick some dinosaur behind, among other things. Hopefully from now on you'll be able to actually hear the beautiful music of the game. I've mucked about a bit with the controls and it seems to be working. Unfortunately, that also means you're probably going to be able to tell that my nose is stuffed. Yes, my nose is stuffed. I seem to have caught a bit of a chill. It's been really cold the last 2 days. Beautiful weather, sunny, which is rare where I live, but very cold, and apparently that's enough for me to get all sniffly. Today the weather's kind of atrocious, but it's Easter. Monday, Thursday, Holy Thursday, whatever you people call it. Skjærtorsdag in Norwegian, which is a public holiday here, which means I haven't been doing anything all day anyway, so I don't have to go outside. No point in going outside, nothing's open. Our local church was ringing its bells earlier. And other than that, I have my pot of chai, big giant pot of chai, almost 2 liters. And we're going to go do something useful. You can hear the 6 million BC theme, which is a jungly BT theme. Yes, it's a tribal theme. I really can't speak words lately. I do this at work too, which is I'm user support, among other things, and I'm on the phone talking to someone, and I'll be going, oh wait, that's not a word, sorry. Worst user support ever. So yes, I'm just gonna put on my timer, so you don't have to listen to me ramble for half an hour or something. Fixed my headsets too. Well, not fixed them, I bought a new one, and so I'm not wearing 2 for once. So here we go. Gonna head into the reptite lair. It sounds like something. It sounds like something out of what's it called? The Lemony Snicket books. I know that was a reptile room or something. Yes, I've actually read the Lemony Snicket books. I'm actually quite fond of them. Come on, yes, there we go. Fire whirl. Can I get all 4 of them? No. I can get 3 of them and I'll have her beat the last one. So, these are evil weevils, because you should always choose the lesser of 2 evils, or weevils, as the case may be. Topics for the day. I did actually write down, although I've been writing them in 3 different languages, so I have to kind of try to figure out what I was writing about. The first topic here says påskekrim, which is, it means Easter crime. Doesn't mean anything in any language, but it's the Norwegian tradition of reading crime fiction in Easter. Because that's what the Easter's all about in Norway. People getting horribly murdered. It's an old tradition. It started back in early 1920s with a pair of Norwegian authors who wrote a book which was called I don't know what the train to Bergen was rubbed tonight, it would be called in English or something like that, but Bergens toget i natt. And it was a big not commercial, but there was a lot of writing about it in the papers, and they just wrote the title of the book, and which the train to Bergen was rubbed tonight. And a lot of people thought, kind of like the War of Worlds, they didn't really tell. I hate fighting megasaurs. These things have so much HP. Thankfully, they're not actually that hard to deal with, as long as you have someone who can do lightning anyway. Like the War of the Worlds, a lot of people thought that the train had been robbed. The train has always been a bit of a important communication thing between Bergen, which is the city I live in, and Oslo, the capital, on the other side of the country. It's about 7.5 hours by train these days, 7 hours, something like that. So back in the days it was probably a lot slower. And they wrote this book, and so for some reason it became tradition. I'm just gonna gather up all of these and try to catch them in one, because... Oh, come here, will you? There we go. I don't know how it ended up being tradition to read these books in Easter, but it did. After that, I think people kind of got, oh, well, crime fiction's interesting, and it gives you things to wonder about, and a lot of people go to, you know, the mountains and go skiing and things like that, and if you're snowed in at the cottage, you'll read pretty much anything anyway. I used to read Harlequin romance novels because, well, it wasn't as though I was going to get to do anything else, no, was there? Another Megasaur. So yeah, it became, for some bizarre reason, it became a tradition. And these days we always have these Easter crimes. It's actually påskekrim actually literally means Easter crime. It's actually a word, which says it all, really. Oh dear, that's a lot of damage. Way to go, Isla. The typical what you have, Agatha Christie, you know, Miss Marple or Poirot, and we had Inspector Foyle. There'll be Morse. All of these. A lot of times British, Somerset Murders, although honestly they show that constantly. They will show the Somerset Murders repeatedly. Let's put on something that's made of rock instead of gold. Because rock is still a better material than gold, right? I actually did something fairly stupid in the beginning here, so I'm going to have to go fix that later. But you won't have to watch it, don't worry. There are actually several holes you can drop down up there later on, and some of them are a bit better. If you drop them down them instead, you can get other awesome stuff. But since I didn't, I'm just getting headaches here. And I'm beaten up by reptiles as well. Spastic ones at that. Which is just embarrassing. So yeah, that's what Norwegians do during Easter. We read books about it, or there's also some modern days. There's a lot of, you know, the girl with the dragon tattoo, and there's a Norwegian author called Anna Holt who's had a lot of. She's written a lot of Norwegian books that have been made to TV series and things like that. So, but yes, murder most foul. Norwegian Easter tradition. My country is a bit weird sometimes. Attack. Spin cut. These monkeys are they're apes, not monkeys. It's a big difference. But they're a pain in the... because they like throwing everything at you, including mushrooms. Don't get me wrong, I like mushrooms. There we go. Got rid of the mushroom anyway. Also, Roald Dahl, guy who wrote, oh, what's it now? The guy who wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and all those books. He also wrote some more adult-oriented, not porn, although it might sound like that when I say adult-oriented, but more serious stuff. And one of them well, I can't remember the name of it. It's not called Murder by Leg of Lamb, unlike what it... Unfortunately, it would have been hilarious if it was. It's called... I can't remember. It's about a woman who kills her husband with a leg of lamb. And then serves it to the police afterwards. It's a very good story. And he wrote quite a few things like that. Can't remember the name of... There's a collection book by him called Evil... Well, the Norwegian name was Onde Cirkler, which is Evil Circles. I can't actually remember what this was called in English. But those books are typically Easter related to here. Well, not related, but things we'd read in Easter, because we're weird like that. I'm going to be reading Sherlock Holmes, which is less grisly than most of them actually, because of that, but I've kind of gotten an addiction here. Just taking a break. Oh. I got a back pain thing going. One of the authors who... I'm just gonna heal a bit. One of the authors who wrote this was actually kind of interesting. These two authors, one was Nordahl Grieg, who is one of the most famous Norwegian writers, poets, stuff like that. Just gonna kick these. I'm gonna have to kill them again later on, but I'm just gonna kick them anyway because there's a save point here and I want it. He wrote... he's most famous for two things really. He's very famous for a very nice poem called... it's in Norwegian it's called Til ungdommen, to the youth, although I've also seen the lyrical translation of it as Face the Foe. And it was a very popular... it's a very popular poem in Norwegian. It's been made into a song and it's very beautiful. He was also a wartime correspondent for various things. For the Allies, mostly. And he was shot down over Berlin. Shot down and killed over Berlin in 43 December. So that's one of the things he's most famous for too, that he died during the war. He was active member of the Allies against the Nazis, who weren't very nice people, as you can very well imagine. Probably the only years since... It was probably only 5 years since 1923 or so we didn't have any Easter-related crime stuff, because everyone was busy with, well, Nazi invasion, and you didn't really need to make up stuff then. So yes, that's what we did back then. Yes. I'm going to take a break here, and then I'm gonna meet you when I've gone and done some stuff. I'll show you what I'm going to do actually. If you go back up here, and up here, there's a lot of climbing in this. And then there's a monkey. I just killed the monkey. They're not so bad when it's only them, because the only thing they can throw at you, well, they throw you at you, which is fairly bloody annoying, but you only have to focus on one enemy at a time, and Isla does a lot of damage. And Chrono Spin Cut does too, so... Sadly, those are kind of fireproof. You'd think that a monkey would burn quite well, but you know. And that brought you back up here, because those things, they burrow. You can see here. This guy's doing it right now. And they'll burrow all over the place and make holes. So... I don't know how long... How much longer this... until this thing... Actually, you know what? This is about... I'll go with one more. There's only about 1 more minute or so, so I'm gonna make this a fairly short episode, and the next episode will start back down at the save point. Because I'm just gonna jump back holes again and again. So I'll see you all then. Just figured it wouldn't be quite fair if I didn't tell you what I was going to do. So I'm just gonna do a very quick. This hole down here is further away from the others. It leads to another place. This one, and eventually if you follow this path instead of the others, you're gonna have to fight these monsters at one point or another, because you can't get down the hole unless you do. But if you do, you will eventually get a red vest. Those are very useful, although you can actually buy them, so you don't have to get them here. I'm just figuring while I'm in here I might as well pick it up. It's not in this chest, I think it's the next level. Let's just try this. I'm just gonna roller kick that one. I'm gonna wait to look at the finish loading. Those things actually kill each other. A bit like, well, I don't know, the Wraith. If I'm gonna be going about them. I'll just deal with those then. That'll deal with, that's those dealt with. Fire's quite good against weevils. And evil weevils, for that matter. It'll heal the weevils, but get rid of the fly traps. Not that the fly traps don't do that much damage, but if they hit with an attack of them, they can of theirs, they can cause sleep, which is a bit of an annoying status. So you know, if you can avoid getting hit by them, it's probably the best. Right, Ruby West, not Red West. But that's what we're here for, so I'm just gonna leave this off now, because after I deal with these I'm gonna have to go all the way back around, and that's kind of boring, so I'll meet you back at the save point.